The 2022 NFL trade deadline is in the books. I am Tom Downey, and we're going to have our trade deadline winners and losers for you guys here today. 5 winners, 3 losers. If your team was not in there, probably didn't make a trade. I almost didn't include the Chicago Bears on our winner side because I don't like the Chase Claypool trade that much. More on that in a little bit. But I did want to include some trades made previously by Chicago. You flipped Robert Quinn for a 4th-round pick. You probably waited too long. You put it on before the year, but it's fine. You got a 4th-round pick back. You're rebuilding. Quinn was going to get cut by you next offseason. I like that move. And a 2nd and a 5th for Roquan Smith for an off-ball linebacker who is due and probably going to ask for $20+ million per year is a lot of money. That is, or a lot of money there. You get a 2nd and a 5th and a throw-in of Naheem or of A.J. Klein, whatever. I'm fine with that one. I like what the Bears did. Outside of the Chase Claypool trade, I don't like that one that much. You give up a 2nd-round pick, your own 2nd-round pick for a guy whose play has declined. I'm still going to give the Bears overall a winner because Justin Fields is maybe your biggest winner because you gave him an asset, a player you can actually throw the football to who's good. But I was not sold on the Claypool side. Almost cost them a spot. My next winner, the Carolina Panthers. And you might go, but they didn't sell. They did. They flipped Christian McCaffrey for all of the assets, a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th. I like that move for Carolina. They sent out Robbie Anderson. I would have preferred a Shaq Thompson trade. But I put Carolina on here because they were right to not trade players like Derek Brown, J.C. Horn, DJ Moore, Brian Burns. Those guys are core pieces in Carolina. I'm going to give them credit for not selling at the trade deadline that style this year. All right, my favorite trade this year at the trade deadline belongs to the Minnesota Vikings. I love what they did. TJ Hawkinson, a 4th-round pick that is conditional, by the way. It could become a 5th-round pick if Minnesota wins a playoff game. That's what Minnesota gets. They send out a 2nd and a 3rd. So overall, trade value-wise, condense all those different moving pieces down. It's a late 2 or an early 3rd, not and, or for Hawkinson. There's your time in the future. Top 10 tight end for a 2nd-round pick. I love that deal, especially with Irv Smith likely out for upwards of 2 months. I think Minnesota, even more so than Carolina and Chicago, are among your bigger trade deadline winners. Who do you think, though, was the biggest trade deadline winner? It's the pinned comments on today's show. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there. Biggest trade deadline winner. The Pittsburgh Steelers were rather active this year. 2 different trades, but they make this list for the Chase Claypool trade. You spent a 2nd-round pick on Chase Claypool a few years ago. Deontay Johnson's better. You've got George Pickens, who I think might be better. You get the Bears' original 2nd-round pick. That could very well be a top 40 pick. I love that deal by Pittsburgh. I applaud them for selling high and setting the market on wide receivers. Brandon Cooks does not get dealt. Jerry Jeudy, DJ Moore, I thought was never going to be dealt. Those guys don't get sold. I think Pittsburgh set the market so high, nobody else met it. Credit to Pittsburgh there. They also made a deal for William Jackson III, the Commanders' corner, who went for a 6th-round pick, and they get back a 7th and a 2025 pick, so like whatever. Basically for free. Not a big factor there. I like in the end what the Steelers did to acquire a premium pick for Claypool and the throw in there of Jackson for 2 years from now, day 3 pick swap. No complaints there. One more winner, the Denver Broncos. They were right to sell. They had a high asking price for Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler. Nobody did it, but they got a lot, and I mean a lot, for Bradley Chubb. They get a future 5th along with Chubb, by the way. They send a future 5th along with Chubb to the Miami Dolphins, and they get a first-round pick. They're back in round 1. They had to do it. A future 4th, you factor in a round later, so it's like a 5th-round pick you got, 2024, and a 7th-round pick, whatever, and Chase Edmonds, a first plus for an edge they probably weren't going to pay. That's a lot. Denver needed that first-round pick. Credit there to Denver making that big-time splash move. I like it for Denver. I'm impressed by that move. Now, today's show is made possible by Established Titles. You might not know what that is. We will explain it. It's a fun, unique, novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland, helping global reforestation efforts in the process, and referring to yourself as Lord or Lady. It's based on that old historic Scottish custom. You get a square foot of land, unique plot number on a private estate out in Scotland. You get the official certificate. I'll show you mine in a second here. They plant a tree, Established Titles does, with every order with the help of global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future, whether in Scotland or worldwide. You can then add Lord or Lady to your credit card, maybe your plane ticket, try to get bumped up to first class, and maybe your dating profile if you're having some not most success there. Might get a swipe right, so up for more success there. They're doing a big sale right now. Here's my certificate, by the way. It says Lord Thomas Downey. Wrong side. My wife doesn't want to call me Lord, but she'll come around when she gets to be called Lady. 10% off when you use promo code CHAT over at establishedtitles.com/chat. Links in the comments section and the description. Big thanks to Established Titles for sponsoring today's show. Big sale right now. Use promo code CHAT at establishedtitles.com/chat. Before we get to the losers, I don't know what to do here. I'm going to be honest with you. The Calvin Ridley trade, I'll make note, by the way, the Falcons, as we sit here filming this, just sent a 7th-round pick for Rashad Fenton, the Chiefs corner. I love that move for Atlanta. Good job. Chiefs saved some cap space. They were just dumping him, basically. But the Calvin Ridley trade is the big one. So future draft picks is the only way I can describe this. I'll break down the conditions here. So if Calvin Ridley is reinstated by a certain date, it is a 2023 5th-round pick. Otherwise, a 6th-round pick. So late day 3 this year, whatever. It is the next pick that matters. It is a 2024 conditional 4th-round pick. If he's on the roster, i.e. not cut, it's a 2024 4th. If he reaches certain incentives based on playing time, it is a 2024 3rd-round pick. If Calvin Ridley signs an extension with Jacksonville, he is in the final year of his deal. Once his suspension is over, the indefinite suspension, it is a 2nd-round pick. So, could be a 6th. Could be a 5 and a 2. Massive variations in between. I don't know who's the winner, who's the loser. I didn't want to, we have to wait and see more than any other trade, so I didn't give an exact answer there. But I do have a request. What is your one-word reaction to the Calvin Ridley trade? I went with wow, bonkers. Sound off for me in the comments section. Let's talk losers. If you're mad at me, get over it. The Detroit Lions. Why did you trade away TJ Hawkinson? Seriously. You get a 2nd and a 3rd, sacrificing potentially 2 4ths, maybe a 4th and a 5th, and you move on from one of your best young playmakers? Hawkinson was awesome. Is Brock Wright really going to be your number 1 tight end now? I don't get it. Hawkinson is the guy you keep, not someone you trade away for what amounts to a late 2nd. I don't get it. He just had his 5th-year option picked up. He's been great. I hate that move for Detroit. The Houston Texans. And this is not because they did not trade away Brandon Cooks. I am fine keeping him. You need to have a talented receiver, even though I think Davis Mills sucks. But you did not trade away Jerry Hughes. And this is the one player who I didn't get why you didn't move. He is in the midst of a rare contract year, or of a big-time breakout year. 5 sacks for a 34-year-old. Now, he is under contract next year, but he was owed like barely $1 million rest of season. Why did you not trade him? He's in his age 34 season, his best year in like 4 or 5 years. You trade that guy for whatever you can get. I think that is a front office failure by Houston to not trade Jerry Hughes. Now, we've got power rankings tomorrow for you guys, so make sure you are subscribed. News, rumors, analysis, and more all year long, plus college football playoff rankings later tonight. Hit that big red button right now. Other trade deadline loser, Cam Akers. He clearly wanted out. He didn't want to be in LA anymore. He wanted to be gone. Although he hasn't been very good since his Achilles injury. I think that's why he did not get moved. So a rare player loser here. The Rams and Akers will try to work things out here. But Darrell Henderson, Ronnie Rivers, Kyron Williams coming back might still be it for Akers in LA. I could have gone lots of different no-trade teams. The Rams didn't make any deals. The Browns didn't make any deals. The Cowboys didn't. I'm looking at Green Bay. What are you doing at wide receiver? Christian Watson can't stay healthy. Romeo Doubs is not a receiver one. I don't think Allen Lazard is either. You've got to get more talent at receiver. And now you're banking on Odell Beckham? I think Green Bay should have done more, and I'm disappointed. It's their MO, I know, but they did not do enough. All right, biggest trade deadline loser. Let me know in the comments who you think lost the most at today's NFL. It could be player or team. Sound off for me in the comments section.